What up, y'all? So listen, we are going to do a recap video for UFC 324. It was a very, very interesting card, I'll say. There was five finishes, okay, five finishes. So there's not a crazy amount of finishes. The first three fights of the entire four fights. The first four fights of the entire card were finishes. The first three were first round finishes. So there were six finishes on the card. Let me correct that. Six finishes on the card tonight. The first four were first four fights of the night were finishes, and I'm thinking this entire card is about to be just mind blowing crazy. The rest of the card didn't pan out that way, but a lot of things happened that were very interesting. Ateba Gautier, you know what I mean? And we'll talk about him. So the fight of the night, obviously Gaethje versus Paddy. Ty Miller and Josh Hokit got performance of the night. I think every finish got 25,000. I think the performance of the night and the fight of the night, they get 100,000. If I'm not mistaken, is a new thing. Let me know if I'm wrong about that in the comment section. And I think every finish gets 25,000. So that's pretty cool that they're rewarding fighters for going for finishes. And you saw it early. Like the first four fights, like I said, were finishes. And the guys were getting after it for sure. So listen, we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start from the top, man. We're gonna start with Paddy versus Gaethje, and we're gonna break this one down. This was a very, very sloppy fight, but it was a war. This is one of the craziest fights I have ever seen. It was a crazy war. I think Gaethje dropped Paddy in the first round. He dropped him in the second multiple times, right? So first round, what does it say? Two knockdowns in the first round. So my bad. I stand corrected. And two knockdowns in the second round. I do not know. I'll tell you right now. I don't know how Paddy Pimblett survived. I do not know how Paddy Pimblett survived, and he gained my respect tonight in that, as far as that's concerned. Because let me tell you something, man. Gaethje was hitting dude with some bombs. I mean, some bombs. And it was so crazy because the first round, okay, Gaethje knocks him down. I think the eye poke came in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was a second eye poke. Yeah, so there's two eye pokes. The first round, Gaethje hits him with two eye pokes. So Gaethje had a lot of fouls. The second one, the ref didn't even see. He didn't even say anything. And then he also had a nut shot, which I think was like maybe in the third round, or maybe that was in the second round too. I can't remember exactly. But Gaethje had a lot of fouls. So the first round, he pokes him in the eye badly. They stop. Respect to Paddy for not like bitching out and just giving up. He his eyes were good, so he kept fighting. But the fight starts, and Paddy is throwing leg kicks. He's throwing kicks to the body. He's intercepting Gaethje, doing that signature duck to the right that he does with like head kicks and knees and stuff like that. So, Paddy starts to fight very, very well, and the eye poke happens, I think, first. No, he gets a knockdown, right? So he gets a knockdown before the eye poke happens, and he like is swarming Paddy on the ground, hitting him with elbows. You know what I'm saying? He gets him in this like north-south position, modified north-south, and he's like landing uppercuts underneath. You know, he's just as they're in that north-south position, he's landing shots up and hitting Gaethje in the face. Where I think that if had Justin maybe kind of separated himself and kind of just like rained down punches and rained down elbows like he did on the second knockdown, I think he could have potentially gotten a finish. There were some times where he would they'd be in a clinch position, and Gaethje would he would land a nasty overhand, and instead of like swarming Paddy and letting his hands go, he would more or less be in that grappling position, trying to land dirty boxing, and things like that. He did Justin Gaethje did a really good job of making the fight ugly and just dirty and gritty. His style fight. This is the worst I've ever seen Justin Gaethje fight. I mean, because he just looked very, very off. I don't even know if that's the right word. He just looked off to start the fight, and there were some some moments in the fight where he just looked off, and it looked like Paddy was actually picking up steam. He drops Paddy twice in the first round, drops Paddy twice in the second round, but in the third round, Paddy was like beating his ass, like literally like beating his ass. And there are moments before the knockdown in the first and second round where, Paddy was landing teeps up the middle. He was landing his jab. He was landing leg kicks. And, Justin Gaethje didn't. I thought he was going to go band for band with leg kicks versus Paddy, but he just didn't. He wasn't utilizing that as a weapon. He landed a ton of shots up top. So let me see what the actual number is here. So he lands, 200 strikes. How much of these were head strikes? Are they not going to tell me? I thought they'd tell you where they land. Maybe not. Maybe not. Interesting. I thought they told you. Okay, significant strikes by target. So he lands 120 head strikes, 15 strikes to the body, and nine leg kicks per the stats. Paddy had 83 head strikes, 48 body shots, and 25 leg kicks. So Paddy just kind of had a more well-rounded approach to it. He was attacking all aspects of Gaethje. He outlanded Gaethje, I think, Gaethje outlanded him in the first. Let me see here. Gaethje definitely outlanded him in the second because Gaethje dropped him and swarmed him in the second. So yeah, he beat Gaethje's ass in the third round. Gaethje comes back in the fourth, gets a takedown apparently. Gets a knockdown again and knocks him down in the fourth round again. And then I thought that Paddy won the fifth. These stats here must be off. It says Gaethje outlanded Paddy in the fifth. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, it looked like Paddy either Paddy landed the more significant shots in the fifth, or he landed more. But I thought that Paddy won the fifth, just based on what I was watching. But yeah, crazy fight. They have Gaethje here for 3 takedowns. I don't remember Gaethje getting takedowns. That's odd. I don't remember Gaethje getting takedowns, but it was a war, man. This was a war, and you know what? This right here, this is the second interim title win for Gaethje, and you have to start asking a question: where does this put him? I mean, Paddy isn't a super crazy win. It's really not. I think that this win, though, what it does is has the potential to age well. Paddy's a big motherfucker, and he showed us that he has a fucking chin tonight, man. The guy can take a punch like you wouldn't believe. I couldn't believe that he was eating some of the shots that he was eating. Gaethje cracked him with so many overhand rights. Flush on the chin. And he would eat it. Gaethje had him on the ground, smashing his face in. Gaethje was hitting him with dirty boxing up the middle. Just sit. Dirty boxing up the middle. Paddy was eating it, getting up, give me more. Seriously, he earned my respect in the way of, okay, he can take a punch. And this is why I do think that, Paddy, I think he's still, he's still young. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's around like 27, 28. Still young, If he works on a few things, I mean, he looks very goofy, very, very wonky style, but that's his style, and I think that could work for him. You know what I mean? He was getting hit a lot. He needs to work on his defense. He really needs to work on that defense. I mean, he was getting hit so many times up top, and it wasn't like Gaethje was mixing it up. Gaethje was going straight for kill shots. Gaethje looked like he was trying to kill him with some of the shots, the way he was swinging with some of the shots. Throwing his whole body, falling over almost at times, looking like he was about to fall over at times. Putting everything into these shots, and Paddy was eating it, man. And The craziest thing is Gaethje did most of the damage, in my opinion, in the first 2 rounds, where he dropped him 4 times, right? According to the stats, he dropped him like 4 times. Busted up Paddy's face, and with all that said, in the third round, Paddy has his best round. After taking crazy damage, getting dropped multiple times, he comes out in the third round and has his best round. Insane stuff, man. You can't script this stuff. It's like really crazy. I couldn't believe it, because this is a guy in Paddy that I'm thinking like, okay, eventually, I picked Paddy to win. Let's just start there. And by the way, I was 7-3 on picks tonight. I thought that if Gaethje were to win, it would be like an avalanche effect where, once he hurts Paddy, he would build on that and eventually put him away. That's what I thought. If Gaethje were to win, that's what I thought would happen. But the fact that Paddy was able to not only survive but make it a war, where it looked like, I'm gonna be honest with you, there were times where I thought he was gonna finish Gaethje. Like that third round, I was like, okay, wait a minute, the tides are turning. He outlanded Gaethje by double the amount of strikes in the third round, and I thought he had a lot of success in the fifth round as well. I'd have to go back and really watch to see whether he won the fifth round or not, but I know it was close. But I thought Paddy landed some good shots, and this was after, again, coming back in the fourth round where Gaethje had another great round, rocked him multiple times, right? He eats 2 eye pokes and a groin shot, and he comes back in the fifth round and he has a lot of success. So, I think that this win for Gaethje is going to age well. I think Paddy is young. I think he has a lot to work on in the way of defense. I do think that he can clean up his striking a little bit. He's the goofy, wonky style. It'll work, but you're in a division, man, with some killers, bro. Some killers, man. I will say this. Ilya fucking kills both of these guys. Ilya is going to have his way with Gaethje when that fight happens. Knocks him out. If Gaethje fights like this, knocks him out badly. Gaethje just didn't throw his leg kicks. He didn't mix. I thought that if Gaethje, watching the fight, I'm thinking if Gaethje starts throwing leg kicks, Paddy's fucked. And he had a few moments where he threw leg kicks, but he didn't. That should have been an integral part of his game, in my opinion. I think that had he been chopping away at Paddy's legs, he probably could have finished Paddy by the third round. I personally think he could have finished Paddy by the third round, but he was headhunting. He was trying to decapitate Paddy Pimblett tonight. That's what he was trying to do. And, he did a great job. He almost got it done. But Paddy was able to survive and give us a very, very good war. Very sloppy fight. Neither guy looked great in the way of technicality. But as far as war, yeah, they went to war tonight. They went to war. You know what I'm saying? So, good fight, man. Good, fun scrap. Good way to start the year with a main event like this. Again, like I said, was it the most technical, aesthetically pleasing fight? No, absolutely not. You know what I mean? But when you have two guys that are just in there throwing, damaging each other, right? Damaging each other back and forth, Justin wins 2 rounds. Paddy comes back and takes a round. Justin wins a round. Paddy has success in the final round. You know what I mean? I don't think that the fight. I think the fight got to the ground maybe like once, but I think Justin had dominant position, and I think that Justin maybe had hurt Paddy. So, it wasn't much Paddy can do. Paddy shot 1 takedown. So both of these guys' game plan was a little off to me. Paddy, I know you don't have the best offensive takedowns in the way of double legs, single legs, or chain wrestling or whatever. But you need to, like Dana said it, like after the first round, after the first couple minutes, man. After you get dropped that first time, I'm shooting and I'm diving for legs. because you clearly are the better jiu-jitsu artist, and he just did not show that tonight. He didn't attempt to show that he was the better jiu-jitsu artist tonight, and I think that kind of bit him. So again, this goes back to learning. And I know there's a lot of pride, and I can stand with Gaethje, and I'm showing the world that I'm tough and this that. No, you need to win the fight, bro. Because a win for Paddy here he could have been even a bigger superstar with a win tonight going into the Ilya fight. He would have been an even bigger superstar. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, war, absolute war. Not a technical, aesthetically pleasing fight. Justin Gaethje beat the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? Beat the shit out of him. But Paddy was able to weather a lot of that storm and have success on his in his own right. Was it pretty? No, absolutely not. I'm not gonna sit here and try and act like this was some sort of like, fight you wanna watch to show the young kids coming up. No, it's not. But it was a war. If you want to show them guts, the beating that Paddy Pimblett took tonight, this is the type of fight you would want to show. Okay, so yeah, man, fight of the night. Probably going to be in contention for fight of the year just because of how much damage was dished out by Gaethje and honestly both guys really, but more so in the way of Gaethje. Probably going to be one of the fights of the year. Great way I think to start the year as far as the war is concerned. Again, still not the prettiest fight. I keep going back to that. Not the prettiest fight, but great war to start the year. So on to the next one. We got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. I thought that Sean O'Malley looked good in this fight, man. Outside of getting taken down, Sean O'Malley needs to work on that. When he gets on his back, he kind of he was able to get up. I think he got taken down in the second round, and I think maybe the first round. But it's like, dude, you got to do more in the way of scrambling back to your feet immediately. You know what I mean? I think he sits on his back far too long. First round happens, he's very, very lateral. And this is what I was saying, and this is why I picked O'Malley to win. Because the lateral movement, the reach advantage. He has like a 5-inch reach advantage on Song Yadong? I think he had like a 5-inch reach advantage on Song Yadong. You know what I mean? So I knew that was going to give Song problems. And Sean comes out, and he's on his bike. He's moving. He's, on his strikes, he's angling off. It's hard to hit a guy who's that fast, who has the range advantage and has the reach advantage on you. And he's faster than they were. Both the guys were very, very fast. Don't get me wrong, but if you guys are equally as fast, let's just hypothetically say they're equally as fast, but Sean is taller, he has the reach advantage, and you both have nasty power. Who's going to have the advantage? And I think that's what I just thought that Yadong's way to win would be would be in the grappling department, would be able to take Sean down, which he was able to, but it just wasn't Merab level to where it was just a dominant or someone like a Jan who can mix it up. Like Song Yadong still has issue mixing in the wrestling with his strikes. You know what I'm saying? He didn't necessarily throw a jab cross into a single leg or a sweep or a trip takedown. Those are the things that I think Song Yadong can work on. Mixing up the striking with the grappling, before he shoots. I think he needs to do a better job of that if he's going to have the type of success that a Jan or Merab does. Because he doesn't have the cardio to shoot 50 times like Merab, right? He doesn't have the judo and Muay Thai, to attack with the kicks or the trips that a Jan does, right? So he has to get better with throwing combinations and going straight into a takedown so you can catch guys like Sean O'Malley off guard. I think he could have won the fight if he had that in his bag, but he didn't. So O'Malley kept him at range. O'Malley teeped him in his belly over and over and over again. Nasty teeps. Nasty spinning back kick. Landed a fadeaway right cross. You know what I'm saying? I thought that O'Malley landed the better shots in the first round. You know, Song was pressing forward like I thought he would, but O'Malley was circling off, right, on everything. So why? So Yadong just couldn't cut him off or trap him enough to let his hands go to where he could cause the damage he needed to cause. Yadong was getting busted up. Shit was leaking. He was bleeding everywhere. Nose was busted up. Mouth was busted up. You know what I mean? Jan clearly, especially in the third round, O'Malley clearly won on damage. Clearly won on damage, especially in the third round. You know, the second round starts, O'Malley's just stabbing him with teeps to the midsection. You know, stabbing him. Hard teeps. And Song goes hard for another takedown. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are on my boy Peter Yan. You know? Song gets the body lock, and O'Malley does what? Elbows to the forearm. Elbows to the forearm. Elbows to the forearm. Peter Yan starts the trend. That's how you know you're a great fighter. You're trend setting, boy. Peter Yan. You can't do it quite like Yan O'Malley, and you're gonna find out when you guys fight. But very good job attacking his forearms. Definitely, probably is a move that I think you'll start to see more guys use and have success with. You know, yeah. O'Malley just when Song got him down, O'Malley was active off his back in the second round. He was throwing up triangles and different things like that until he got back up. You know what I mean? And third round comes and Song lands some hard leg kicks. I'm not gonna lie. Throughout the fight, he was landing some good leg kicks. He was. I will give him that, but it just wasn't enough. I felt like that was the best offense he had. Now in the second round, Song did land a nasty left hook. Nasty left hook. Visibly woke Sean O'Malley up. Visibly woke it. You saw it. Woke him up. But it just wasn't enough. I think that was the most significant strike for him of that round. I think I gave Song O'Malley the second round as well. So I think that strike plus the takedown plus some of the leg kicks in the second round gave him that round. The third round comes. Song lands a couple of leg kicks, but that's it, man. That's it. O'Malley hits him with a nasty standing knee right up the middle. Bow! O'Malley's so fast and so precise. He is tough to deal with, man. You really have to be a Peter Yan level, a Marav level, maybe a Corey level. I want to see that fight eventually at some point, hopefully, to contend with it with Sean O'Malley, man. Because he's, in my opinion, like I said in my prediction video, I think he's the best striker in the division, potentially even the UFC. He's very, very good, man. The look away cross that he loves his uppercut, loves his teep. You know what I'm saying? And he does all of it while staying lateral, so it's hard for you to track him down and touch him. Song was having a hell of a time landing anything today. So this was a very, very good performance by Sean O'Malley. Listen, didn't get a finish, but he busted up Song Yadong. We'll talk about the other fight in this division that was on the card tonight. Both of these guys, I thought Umar and Sean O'Malley are competing for who gets the next title shot. The storyline's there with Sean and Peter Yan. However, Peter Yan has never fought Umar. Umar just got his second win in a row. Sean is on a one-fight win streak. So, there's cause for both. If it were up to me, I want to see the Umar fight, to be honest with you. Or, God, I want him to get that Sean win back, man. Peter Yan. I want Peter Yan to get that Sean win back. But, listen, let me not cough into the mic. Listen, I wouldn't be mad either way, man. I wouldn't be mad either way, okay? Because I think that Umar would add to Peter Yan's legacy. I think that getting the Sean fight win back would add to Peter Yan's legacy as well. So I'm not mad either way. Let's get back in there on the White House card. And it might make sense then if we're gonna do Sean O'Malley on the White House card to have a Peter Yan versus a Sean O'Malley. That might be what they do, to be honest, because even the Umar versus Deiveson, like, while Umar won decisively, it was like Sean busted up Song Yadong's nose. Like, there was visible damage on Song Yadong. Deiveson Figueredo didn't have any damage on him, man. So maybe we let Umar build his legacy a little more. He did get rushed to the title shot anyway. So maybe we give him one more fight or something like that. Have him fight, I don't know. Give him one more fight. Maybe if I have Umar versus Ayman Zahabi. You know what I mean? Something like that. Because this fight tonight just wasn't it. And, like, obviously the UFC, they want these exciting finishes. And, you know, and Umar's just proving he's a decision merchant. He has, like, one finish in his entire Hani Barcelos. He has one finish in his entire career. So, in the UFC so far. So I do think we need to maybe give Umar as punishment, punish his ass, and say, listen, you need to learn how to finish these guys. Here's Ayman Zahabi. On to the next one, we got Waldo Cortes Acosta versus Derrick Lewis. Talk about finishes, baby. Clearly, Waldo is faster. Clearly, Waldo has better footwork. Clearly, Waldo has better boxing. I called all of this stuff before the fight even happens, man. I called all of it. I said this was gonna happen. Waldo was working beautifully behind the jab. He lands, I think it was a counter right cross or a counter right hook. Hits Derrick on the temple and drops him. Oh, it was a jab, actually. He dropped him with the jab in the second round and just swarms him with ground and pound and finishes him. You know? You can tell, though. I saw it the first round. Waldo had Derrick Lewis confused. Derrick Lewis couldn't get to him, couldn't land anything clean like that. I thought that had Derrick Lewis, go to the body a little bit more. He was having some success there. I thought he should have went to the body a bit more. But Waldo just had him confused, dazed and confused. He had no idea what was happening. And you started to see Derrick Lewis sweat. And you saw the exhaustion building in, and you just knew it was a matter of time before Waldo put him away. So that's what I thought happened. And, Waldo, he you know what's crazy? Waldo beat Sergey Pavlovich, or Sergey beat Waldo. And Waldo's fought like 3 times since that loss. It's kind of bizarre. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of bizarre. So I don't know. I think, do you give Waldo the next shot? I mean, you could. I wouldn't be mad at it. But he's on a crazy 6 fight within a year span. He's only lost 1 of those. He's won 5 of his last 6. I mean, he might deserve it, man. I wouldn't be mad at it, right? Can anybody be mad? Rose Namajunas versus Natalia Silva. Listen, I am very, very happy. This fight could have won either way. I'm going to tell you that right now. Rose arguably won the first 2 rounds. She definitely won the second round. Rose I've seen this in her career. She has a cardio issue, man. She was tired in that 3rd round. She's exhausted. You saw she obviously slowed down. The first round, Rose got in there and gave Natalia Silva trouble like we've never seen. We've never seen Natalia Silva have any confusion on the feet versus any of her opponents. Rose had her confused in the first round. I still thought that Natalia Silva I think she landed a hook, which is what I thought stole around for her in the first round. Had she not landed that hook, I think it was towards like the end of the round she landed a hook. Had she not landed that, Rose probably wins the round. And with Rose winning the second round, in my opinion, I think Rose wins the fight. So Rose she's come close, man. In a lot of these fights, she's coming close, and she just can't get over the hump when it comes to Natalia Silva or Erin Blanchfield or Manon. These are close fights she's having with every one of these women, But she has a cardio issue, man. In this fight, look, in my opinion, you give Natalia Silva she took her down, body lock takedown, stuffed Natalia Silva's takedown, which Natalia Silva isn't a takedown artist anyway. Stuffs her takedown in the second round, gets a body lock takedown, controls Natalia Silva. The thing about Rose is when she gets you down, she doesn't really do shit in the way of damage. It's a bunch of pitter-pat, nothing shots, nothing punches to do absolutely no fucking damage. I'm a huge fan of Rose. That's why I'm very, very upset about this. Because I thought she was a strike or 2 away from winning. And being a champion, you would think she would know what to do in that third round versus Natalia Silva, who who hasn't won a championship yet. You know, very, very close fight, man. This was a very fun fight to watch. It did have me at the edge of my seat. I thought Natalia Silva was going to run away with this fight. Rose made it very, very interesting, very, very close. I thought Rose, again, was a punch or two away from winning this fight. A lot of people had Rose winning the first 2 rounds. And it's arguable that she did. But damage base, man. I think that Natalia Silva having the dominant third round that she did, because we saw Rose get tired, right? We saw Natalia Silva stuff her takedown, reverse her, get on top and land ground and pound of her own. Natalia Silva had a dominant third. Her third round was more dominant than Rose's first 2 rounds. So even if Rose did win, maybe Natalia Silva swayed the judges with how dominant she was in the third. You know what I mean? Great win for Natalia. She looks so good. She's very attractive. My Lord, she's an attractive woman. Wow. You know, I've been attracted to her really her entire career, but something about this fight camp, I mean, she looks on point, boy. Anyways, great win for Natalia, man. I'm a huge fan of Natalia. You know, I'm just a bigger fan of Rose. I'm very disappointed. You know, Rose is 15-9 now, and it's hard because legitimately, if you go back and you re-watch the story of Rose's career, she should be 20-5, maybe 20-5. 3-time champion. 2-division champion. A lot of hiccups, a lot of mistakes made in her career, man. I'm not going to vent over this because it's a women's MMA and no one really cares about it. So, on to the next one. Yeah, John Silva. Now, listen. Arnold Allen's very good, man. For him to be off damn near 2 years and come back. Now, Gene Silva, in my opinion, the first round was close. But Gene Silva just clearly pulls away in the second and third. But for Arnold Allen to be, you know, as elusive as he was, to land some of those 1-2s down the middle the way he did, to stuff the takedowns the way he was, to get back up after being taken down the way he was, and you know, very impressive performance by Arnold Allen. This is what I was worried about, though. So like, the first round comes. Very, very close round. Let me actually look and see where it was as far as strikes were concerned. We had Jean Lord Silva outstriking Arnold Allen by 18 punches. But in the first round, Arnold Allen outstruck Gene Silva. He outstruck him in the first round, and I thought that Arnold Allen won the first round. You can make an argument for Gene Silva landing the more significant shots, but you know the second and third round comes in, and John Silva is landing stepping elbows. He's getting takedowns. He's landing vicious body shots, nasty leg kicks. Arnold Allen, I think he was landing very good leg kicks in the first round, and moves away from it. I don't know why guys do that. Is it a cardio thing? Yeah, I don't know why guys do that. They go away from the leg kicks. I thought that Arnold Allen was having success with that. But Gene Silva's a fucking unit, man. Brick house out there, just big. Both guys big for the division, but Gene Silva is just a unit out there, man. Honestly, man. Very, very, very strong. Comes out immediately. Although I thought he lost the first round, holds the center of the octagon. No problem. Holds the center of the octagon. And just shows that he's a force out there, man. The shots that he was landing was throwing Arnold Allen all over the place versus what Arnold Allen was landing, you know? Let me see here. Actually, I notated something. Yeah. So, like, you know, Gene Silva comes in. The autism is on full display. The man is locked in. Doesn't take his eyes off Arnold Allen. Like I said, Arnold Allen is light on his feet in the first round. He landed a couple really close head kicks. Arnold Allen's southpaw stance, I thought was giving Silva a little bit of trouble early. 1-2s down the middle. Silva had ended around blitz in the first round, which could have swayed the first round into Silva's direction. He landed a head kick. But I gave Arnold Allen the first round. The second round comes. I thought that Silva starts busting Arnold Allen up. Arnold Allen starts leaking out of his nose. You know, Silva lands nasty spinning back elbows, stepping elbows. He gets a takedown. He lands an uppercut right, and then a right straight. He threw that a lot. That uppercut right straight. He was having a lot of success with that. Now, he missed the uppercut a lot, but he was having a lot of success spamming head kicks, Gene Silva was in the second round. Both men landed. There was a sequence where both of them landed as spinning back elbows. Yeah. Nasty body shots by Gene Silva. You know, Arnold Allen had success too, landing nasty 1-2 down the middle. You know, the third round was close, but Gene Silva decently close. But Gene Silva just, kind of just he won that one either. Elbows in the clinch. Again, nasty body shots, stepping elbows. He's a very, very gifted, athletic fighter. I mean, he's able to do things that a lot of guys are not able to do, man. He's very, very gifted, Gene Silva. Very, very gifted. Very athletic, very strong, powerful. Even the shots that weren't landing on Arnold Allen, you could tell were, like, throwing him across the octagon. You know what I mean? So very, very good win for Gene Silva, man. I think this type of win, Arnold Allen, I think, is ranked number 6 or 5 or something like that. So Gene Silva gets that. I think Gene Silva, let's get him in there versus, Diego Lopez. Who's the top 5 right now? Let me see here. Let me look at this top 5 here real quick. Top 5 in the UFC. Who could we give? Maybe a what did I say? What did I say? Aljo? Let me see here. Let's give rankings. Let's see. So you have Yair, okay, Lerone Murphy. Maybe Lerone Murphy. Maybe Aljo. I think Aljo would be a fun fight. But Aljo and Lerone Murphy are talking back and forth. So, right now you have Yair and Mazar. So Diego Lopez is getting the next shot. Mazar or Yair. Give him Yair, man. Give him Yair. Yair does fucking nothing. He's fought once in the last 2 years. Give him Yair, and that would be the fight to determine whether he's next. So you give him Yair. So let's say Diego Lopez fights Volk next, Aljo and Lerone Murphy, and then depending on or do you give him Mazar? I don't know, man. This is an interesting one. Yeah, but all these guys need to fight. Like a Yusuf Zalal can maybe fight a Mazar or Yair, and then you have Lerone versus Aljo, Yusuf Zalal versus Yair, and then maybe Mazar versus Gene Silva or Yair versus Gene Silva and a Mazar versus Yusuf Zalal. I don't know. Something like that needs to happen to get these guys going. Like Mazar and Yair not fighting is like fucking ridiculous now, man. You know what I mean? So that needs to happen. But anyways, good win for Jean Silva. I think that he showcased his well-roundedness in this fight. And, I am very, very excited to see. Obviously, I still think that Gene Silva could be a champ. I think there's certain things that he does need to clean up in the way of the bantering and the showboating, which he did tonight. But he did. There were a few moments where he stuck his hands out there to grab. I just thought that if Gene Silva just picks it up, maybe just a notch, I think we see a different guy out there. It looked like he was still waiting to get going, especially in the first round at times, or maybe not. It just felt like he was a little bit more hesitant because of getting knocked out by Diego Lopez. You know what I mean? There's a little hesitation is what I sense. So I hope he didn't lose, a little bit of his edge. Maybe he gets a knockout if he's a little bit more aggressive is where I'm going with this. You know what I mean? If he gets a definitive, like, knockout, then maybe we're talking, okay, definitely Masvidal, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then title shot. But because he gets a decision win, not so dominant, then, maybe he has to win another one or two, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, Gene Silva, good win. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Figgy. Figgy had a moment in the second round, I think, or was it the first round, where he just like went for broke. Or was it the second round? I think it was the second round. He just went for broke towards the end of the round. Just went crazy. The first round, Umar just controlled the fight. It was almost like Figgy didn't know what to do. Like, Umar was just throwing whatever he wanted. Kicks. You know what I'm saying? He was circling. He was, got a body lock takedown. Yeah, Figgy just had zero offense in the first round. I don't even know how to break it down. He just had zero offense. Umar did whatever he wanted. What was the strikes? Let me actually see here. Figgy. So first round, yeah, look at that. Figgy landed, according to these stats, Figgy landed 1 strike, Umar 28. Figgy did fuck all. Okay? And then in the second round, he only landed 8. And then, so he just got brutally outstruck in this fight and just, I don't know, man. This wasn't a good performance by either of these men. But, for me, it's like, Umar, bro, there's no damage to Figgy. Like, you need to, like, there's something about Umar that's not Khabib-ish or Islamish, where these guys are getting finishes. These are fucking people up. Domination. Like, for Umar to be a minus fucking 1,600, bro, and you're not destroying Figgy out there is a fucking problem. It is a problem, my guy. You should be beating Buddy's ass. You know what I'm saying? So, he just... Yeah, Figgy just looked like he hadn't been in a fight. He didn't look like he was in a fight, man. Let's be honest with yourselves here, man. He didn't look like he was in a fight. While Umar, was landing whatever he wanted, getting his takedowns, showing his skill level, because that's what he does. He's a decision merchant. He's not getting finishes. How could you give him the next title shot over Sean? You know what? Fuck it. I've just convinced myself. Sean O'Malley gets the next shot if they don't give it to Merab. You know what I mean? Which they shouldn't. I don't think they should. But it's not because I'm afraid that Merab will make some tweaks and win. I'm not, okay? Jan all day. I think Jan wins every time. But listen, Umar's got to be better, man. He's got to be better. He's not Khabib. He's not Islam. He's not anywhere remotely fucking close to as dominant as these guys. They need to stop giving him these minus 16 fucking hundreds that makes no sense. I'm sick of the shit with this mother shitter. On to the next one, all right? Ateba Gautier versus Audrey Pulyaev. I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, yeah, he didn't get the dominant finish. Listen, I like this for Ateba. You see, it's one thing if he loses, he gets fraud checked and loses. But he got fraud checked. This is how good he is. Ateba Gautier dropped. Let me see here. Let me make sure I got this right. He dropped Audrey Pulyaev, I think, 3 times in the first round. This is how dominant this fucker is. He drops him 3 times, I believe it was, in the first round. Let me see here. 2 knockdowns in the first round, and I think in the second round he had 2 knockdowns. Okay, so he drops him 4 times in the fight, right? He drops in 4 times in the fight, and he still got fraud checked. Whoa. There's fucking people out there talking about that Pulyaev might have won. Get the fuck. How do you drop somebody, almost kill somebody? The first drop was so bad, Ateba Gautier literally started walking off. I think he fumbled I think Ateba could have gotten the finish. I personally think he could have gotten the finish, but that's how bad he dropped him. He thought the ref was going to step in, and he didn't. So, learning experience here on multiple ends. Watch it back. When he dropped him he starts walking off. Oh, he's about to just walk. No. So I like that he didn't get to finish. I like that he got tested and and we see that he can go to distance. We also see that Ateba Gautier can take some damage. Pulyaev was lighting him the fuck up with those body kicks. Those teeps to the body. Ugh, some of them were nasty. You heard them. You heard them. You ever heard someone get kicked flush in the stomach? That noise it makes? Ugh. Right? Flush. Ateba was leaking on his nose. Pulyaev was landing some nice overhands, bruh. Some nice overhands. He got tested tonight, Ateba. So I like it. We know that Ateba, I still think this guy's going to be a nightmare for anybody. A nightmare. Even Pulyev's game plan was to be on his back foot, pretty much running away from Ateba until he can get a body kick in and an overhand left. Sometimes intercepting Ateba. Very good lateral work from Pulyaev. Very good lateral work. You understand what I'm saying? Ateba is going to go back and work on your cage cutting. This is not good for the division. A lot of people are celebrating this like, oh, yeah. No, bruh, because now he knows what he has to work on. He has weaknesses, and he saw that tonight. Ateba Gautier is a very, very intelligent young man. Although he was getting touched up, although he didn't put Pulyaev away early, he did not overextend. He wasn't going in for the kill. He didn't get reckless. He remained composed. That, for a young man that's 24, as powerful as he is, a fucking unit like him, for him to remain that composed, bro, listen, tell me that's not a problem for the rest of the division moving forward. It is a huge problem for y'all. So you guys that are celebrating, you can go ahead now, bro. Go on ahead, because I'm telling you right now, he's going back to the lab, and he's going to work on cage cutting. He's going to work on fighting. He struggled with the southpaw stance because he was eating a lot of body kicks. Ate a couple of head kicks, actually. I was like, shit, this man's about to get knocked out with a head kick. I thought that, the way you could see it, Pulyaev was kicking the shit out of him to the body, kicking the shit out of him to the body. I thought Pulyaev was just going to question mark to a head kick, which he did a couple times, but I thought one was going to land super flush, shin to the dome, and put Ateba away. It didn't happen, but it could have happened. Let me just put it to you that way. Very, very, very good performance by Pulyaev to survive is essentially what the fuck he did. That is how good Ateba Gautier is. A man survives getting dropped 4 fucking times, right? And he's been fraud checked. That is how good he is. Just think about that for a second. Now, Pulyaev is the competition. Pulyaev ain't comp. So that is a problem. That's not good. But it just shows that the fact that Ateba was able to remain composed, the fact that Ateba was able to kind of still go in there and handle his business, I like it. 100% I like it. So yeah. On to the next one. We've got Nikita of Krylov. Nikita Krylov. Now, this is where the string of, KOs happen, right? Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukaukas. Nikita Krylov did what he's supposed to do, man. He goes in there. He grapples early. Clinch work. Has Modestas on the cage. Clenching him up. Mitigating the power. Tiring him out. Slowing down a lot of that power early, so later in the rounds he can do what he needs to do. The second and third round, Nikita Krylov had his way, hands down, lands a devastating, I think it was a right cross. What was it again? I wrote it down somewhere. It was a buzzer beater too. It was an overhand right. And then follows up with ground and pound. Badly drops Modestas Bukaukas. Badly drops him. Finishes him up with punches. Yeah, second round. I mean, after the first round, he just was walking that, had no respect for Modestas' power. So he did what he's supposed to do. Great game plan, chain wrestled. Modestas breaks free with like a minute and 30 seconds left in the first round, but after that, you could tell that he didn't have the steam on his punches that he did, that he needed to finish Krylov, and Krylov had zero respect for him, keeping him to the body. Krylov did some great work to the body throughout the fight, and gets a knockout win, much needed win for Nikita Krylov. Maybe a Khalil Roundtree fight would be fun. Khalil's on a 2-fight losing streak. Nikita just got off a 2-fight losing streak. Maybe that'd be a fun fight. But yeah, so good. Still a lot of this when he's entering on wild entries on strikes, looping shots, leaving his chin way up in the air on a silver fucking platter. So still a lot of the rookie shit. I think Khalil would actually fucking destroy him, actually, now that I think about it. But, good win for Nikita Krylov. Good knockout. Definitive win. He probably saved his UFC spot, to be honest. Yeah, so great win. So whatever experiment they ran on him is starting to kick over there in Russia when he was fighting in that war or whatever. Seems to be working now. The effects of those experiments seem to be kicking in. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. You know. On to the next, we've got to Alex Perez versus Cortes Johnson. Yeah, boy, was I wrong on this one, yeah. Listen, Alex Perez still got it. It looked very fast, looked very quick, looked very speedy. See, Alex Perez's career has been very iffy, versus Asu Amabayev was winning the fight until he got choked out. Versus Tatsuro Taira was looking good until his knee gave out. You know what I'm saying? Has fought a lot of, versus Muhammad Makayev, very, very close fight. Arguably got robbed in that fight. Has had a lot of very close fights. A lot of very, very close fights. With top guys. And so for him to get this win, a much-needed win, to knock Charles Johnson out was very, 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 very impressive. I thought Charles Johnson was going to do him dirty. But he catches Charles Johnson with what was it, an overhand? I don't know what it was, but he catches it, and Charles Johnson is on his bike running away, retreating, and Perez catches up to him and just kind of finishes him on the ground with ground and pound. Hurt him, dropped him several times, hurt him badly. I don't think there's one point in the first round where Charles Johnson recovered from the beating that he was taking, and yeah, good win for Alex Perez. He's back in the win column. Interesting to see what they do next for your boy. On to the next one, Josh Hokit. Crazy post. He beats Denzel Freeman badly. Beats the fuck out of him. Out-grapples him. Fucking rocks him. He immediately shoots in on a takedown on Denzel Freeman just to show him he can. Chain wrestling. Every time Denzel Freeman tried to get up, he would pull him back down. Now, eventually, Denzel Freeman did get back up because he's a great wrestler. But by the time he gets back up, he's fucking gassed. Done. Right? Done. So, this wasn't a traditional TKO. This was a TKO, exhaustion TKO. Literally, I think in the last 3 seconds of the round, he literally can't stand up. That is how exhausted he was after Josh Hokit put a pace on him. Put a pace on him. You know what I mean? I think Josh Hokit dropped him a few times, I think, maybe. He definitely swarmed him with a lot of punches. Yeah, he literally cannot get back up. And the ref steps in and just calls it off due to exhaustion. So, Josh Hokit's going to be good, man. He's that's his second fight. And when he calls out Waldo Cortes Acosta, says the N-word on the mic. He doesn't really say the N-word, but he said he had some crazy WWE type speech where he said N-word something. It's funny. Listen, I don't get offended by it. A lot of people get offended by that type of, Should you be saying it? Probably not. Probably not, dude. What the fuck? You know what I mean? But he's a character, man. He's a fucking character, you know what I mean? Good win, man. He's proven to be very dominant. He pushes a wild pace, wild pace, yeah. He's gonna be a problem, man. He's one of those ones where if he doesn't get finished, brutally finished, he wins. So good win for Josh Hokit. Crazy character. He's becoming a fan favorite, I think. I think Joe Rogan likes him too. which doesn't really matter, but Adam Fugits versus Ty Miller. Now, I think that Adam Fugits a good win for a first fight. Adam Fugits not good, but he's a good win for a first fight. He's good. He's average everywhere. He can grapple. Adam Fugit hurt Ty Miller in the first round. He hurt him, split him open, and Ty Miller just works on his boxing is good. Miller was landing hard rights, very very hard rights early. Southpaw. I think Fugit was southpaw. Miller was ortho. A lot of that on this card. A lot of southpaw versus orthodox. But Fugit was working the body. Miller was landing hard right hands early. Miller was snapping Fugit's head back. Very hard 1-2s down the middle. Fugit lands a nasty spinning back elbow and cut Miller open. And Miller recovers, drops Fugit with a right down the middle, swarms him, and just drops him and ends it at the buzzer. Great win. Shows that he's got grit. He doesn't give up. I mean, he's his first fight in the UFC. Could have gave up, but has grit. Showed grit. And it was a nasty cut too. And probably if that goes to the second round, Fugit probably could have got a doctor stoppage potentially if he continued to hit it. But great way to start the card, man. Great way to start. Nice way to nice entry to the UFC. Nice win. I don't think Fugit's he's not good, but he's not like a terrible loss win either. It's a decent win, for your first ever fight. So, very interesting stuff. Very interesting night. Listen, we're back like we never left, baby. You know what I'm saying? Back like we never left. Now, first fight next week we got Volk versus Diego. And we're going to talk about that because a lot of people are saying Diego KO. I think Volk's about to do the same motherfucking thing he did the last fight. Same thing's going to happen. Same exact thing's going to happen. You know what I mean? So yeah. Great. Let me not say great. Decent card. Interesting night. A lot of interesting things happened. So I'm excited for next week. We will talk more on that maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. We shall see. Until next time, it's your boy. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Follow my boy. What's his YouTube channel? My fault. Subscribe. What's his YouTube channel? My bad. I got it. So, Daywalker MMA. Yeah, Daywalker MMA. He's coming up for sure with the content. He has good content. Very, very, very smart UFC mind. He remembers literally every fight. Remembers names. I'm like, bro, how are you remembering this shit? You know what I mean? I don't even smoke like I used to, and I can't remember shit. You know what I mean? So, we're gonna start collabing soon too. We're planning a collab. To make things more interesting for us to try and grow a little bit faster. But, go check out my boy, man, Daywalker MMA. Until next time.